Oh, hello everyone, and welcome to what is probably going to be a pretty short episode of Beyond the Stats, but it's an episode nonetheless. I'm wearing the Randy Moss jersey, greatest Minnesota Viking of all time. There you go. It's pretty cool. It's Mitchell and Ness, which is sick. But today I'm just going to be kind of going over my way too early playoff predictions after Week 4 and Thursday Night Football. So this will probably be outdated by the time the video is posted because I'm posting this way late at night. Or I'm recording it way late at night. Anyway, I got my trusty whiteboard here. I'm going to write down the seeds on the board so it'll be more aesthetically pleasing for you guys and you don't have to just like skip through around all the predictions. So we'll start with the NFC. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and plus a little few teams that I think will be in the hunt but out. And then we'll do AFC, same thing. Not going to do really much beyond that in this video. I'm just trying to make it a short one with like playoff predictions and stuff. So let's start it off here with the NFC. So your number one team, I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I still think they're the number one contenders in the NFC. They were the 2 seed last year. I think the Lions aren't quite going to have as insane of a performance as they did last year, but I still think they'll be decent. But I think Philadelphia is your top contender in the NFC for now. I think until they lose, they're still going to be number one in the power rankings. So, and they've got a game against the Broncos, which I wouldn't count out the Broncos, but I'm still picking the Eagles to win. But like, I feel like they're gonna go like 14-3. I don't know what they went last year. They might have gone 14-3 last year, but I think 14-3 is a good prediction for the Eagles. Definitely still a good team, but they are seeming a little bit like last year's Chiefs, where they're like getting a lot of close wins. Like all their games have been 1-score games, so. Like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I still think they're the strongest team in the NFC right now. For the number 2 seed, we have the Detroit Lions. I still think they're a really solid team, really solid offense, pretty solid defense as well. They're going to be a formidable force. I could also see them going like 13-4. Still think they're going to win the North, and it's going to be a tough division for all those teams to even stack up with them. Both of the North divisions, it was looking like they were going to be like super, like the best divisions in football by a mile. But now, the Packers have exceeded expectations, but like the Browns aren't going anywhere, the Bengals aren't going anywhere, and the Ravens, now Lamar is hurt and like their whole defense is dead. So it looks to be like kind of not that way anymore as far as like divisional, like team or like divisions and how good they are. Maybe it's just injuries, but maybe we were wrong about that. Anyway, my number 3 team in the NFC, I'm gonna go with the Rams still over the Buccaneers. They're gonna be 4, I think. Pretty obviously those are the other division winners. Maybe not obviously. I still think Rams got it over Seahawks with how they played, especially against like the Colts last week. Stafford has been a force. Stafford's been really good. They did play Thursday Night Football and they lost, which I'm kind of remembering now, but I still think they're going to have a better record at season's end than the Seattle Seahawks. I think Seattle's a fine team, but I don't think any of the other teams in the division have anything to go up against the Rams with. Rams just have such a good receiving core, such a good offense, and a good young defense as well. Rams are my pick for the 3 seed. And these are, in fact, the same 4 division winners from last year, so we don't have a lot of change in that aspect. But, are we going to really see change, especially in the NFC South? Like, the Falcons are the only other ones that have a prayer of winning that division, and they are really suspect. I don't get why they get blown out by the Panthers and then, beat Washington, beat the Commanders right after. I don't understand what they're doing, but they're doing it. Anyway, my wild card teams. First of all, I'm going to go with, as the number 5 seed, I have got Seattle. I think they've opened with a good start to their season. They're 3-1. I think a win here this week against the Buccaneers would be huge for them. And I think if they're able to do that, they're definitely the front runner for that 5 seed. And even if they don't win, I still think it's gonna be weird with the NFC wildcards. Like, there aren't a lot of other really great teams that I would consider wildcard teams. I think Philadelphia and Detroit are like far and away the best teams in the NFC. The Rams are also good, and same with Tampa Bay, but like everybody else is kind of lower down. That's why I think those four, even though they were the same four from last year, are the most likely to repeat. At the number 6 seed, I've got a team that I'm kind of questioning after 2 strange games, but I still think Green Bay makes it in there as your number 6 seed. Even after tying the Cowboys, their defense is still really solid. They still got Parsons, and their offense is seeming to click a little bit more. At least they did against the Cowboys. I don't think they're any lower than 6, but I also don't really see them winning the division. So highest I can really put them is 5, and I think Seattle right now is better. So that's my prediction for there. Obviously, this is before we know of any like huge major injuries that could compromise all this. But your number 7 seed, in my opinion, from what I've seen so far, I'm going to give number 7 to Washington. This is a weird one. This is the one that I'm least confident about for sure. I think the teams that are in the hunt would be San Francisco, Atlanta, Chicago. Kind of ran out of space there. I think those are your next teams out. San Francisco is one that I could definitely see making it. I don't think they are better than Washington. I think they just have an easier schedule and could likely make it in based off of that. Atlanta's another weird one. I don't know how to think about them. And then Chicago, Vikings aren't looking too great. If they lose to the Browns, I'm completely out on them. And then who else exists? Giants, they're not going to do anything. I guess Dallas could have a shot, but like, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen. Dallas is just, you can't give up Micah Parsons and then expect to make the playoffs. So yeah, I think the number 7 seed is going to be a weird one in the NFC, but I got Washington taking it because, like it or not, what we saw from them last week against Atlanta isn't really them. Like, they have Jaden Daniels. He just wasn't playing. So there's your NFC predictions. I'm going to try to erase this so that I can keep the numbers and just write the new teams in. But I think the AFC is a bit more like up to interpretation. There's a lot more that could happen. I think the NFC right now, you got your clear best teams and you got your clear best or your clear worst teams, your teams that aren't going to do great. As for the AFC, I'm going to write a better A than that. That's an ugly A. As for the AFC, your number 1 seed, unfortunately, I am going to pick the Buffalo Bills here. One of the only undefeated team left in the AFC. I think they're the best right now. Josh Allen's doing insane. The defense is crazy. James Cook's great. The only thing that isn't great is the wide receivers. But you know, Josh Allen's making it work with what he's got. Right now, they're the best team in the AFC, and I see them winning it. I would like to predict like a 14-3 record, but like having 2 15-2 teams like we did last year isn't sustainable. It doesn't happen every year. Like every year, the predicted number 1 team is always predicted to go like 12-5 in every conference, and even like back in the past, it was like 11-5 was like the best record that was predicted. So like, people don't usually set expectations for like a 14-3, 15-2 team, but there always seems to be a team that has at least 13 wins. Like there's usually at least 2 teams that have 13 wins. So I think Buffalo gets at least 13, maybe 14. But for now, they're number 1. And for number 2, I am going to put Kansas City. I still think they win the West over the Chargers. Chargers are going to be good. I think they'll definitely have a good wild card spot. But Kansas City right now is my number 2. With Worthy back, their offense is going to be explosive, a lot better. And hopefully they'll be able to light up that scoreboard and get some wins in the win column. I think I don't know what I said. After the injury to Worthy following week 1, I said they will go 1-2 against the Eagles, Ravens, Lions. They'll win one of those games and lose the other 2. That was my prediction. I don't know if that'll be the case. We'll see how the Lions play in their coming games, but I think the Lions are still right now a better team than Kansas City as of right now. But we'll see that. We'll see what happens there. But I still think they'll go 1-2, and then they'll suffer their weird other trap loss. So I think they go 13-4. I think that's a reasonable prediction for them. Could go 12-5 with like another division loss to like Denver or something. I think that's a game that that the Chiefs could lose. But overall, I still think they claim the number 2 seed. Maybe even hold tiebreaker over Chargers, depending on if they beat them and if they beat all the other teams in the division. But number 3, now this is where it gets weird. At this point, this is gonna be a weird one. I think for number 3, I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's gonna be my first big hot take. I don't think the Colts have what it takes. I'm not gonna lie. Daniel Jones, I mean, they're facing another not great team this week. They're facing I think the Raiders. So if they can do it again, put another good performance, then maybe they'll have the spot. But right now, I think Jacksonville wins the South. I think they're a good enough team. They'll be decent, and I think they have what it takes offense-wise, and obviously they got a good pass rush on the defense and pretty good pass defense, as we saw last week as well. They're going to be a good team. They're going to win a solid number of games. I think they might win 10 or 11. I don't see them winning much more than that, though. Maybe 10 games is what I would predict for them. And then I think that same 10 games is probably the most I would be able to pick for my AFC North winner, which is going to still be Baltimore. I still got them winning. Even though I have them losing this week and dropping to 1-4, I think Lamar gets back after 2 weeks. Who are they playing? I think they're playing another hard team the next week. I don't remember exactly who, but I think they might drop to 1-5. But then after there, Lamar's going to be back. They're going to be back with a vengeance, and some of their defensive starters are going to be back. I still think they take it over the Steelers. It'll be a close one. But for right now, I'm picking Baltimore. That could very well change if I do this video again. Baltimore might not be on this list, but we'll see. And then the wild cards for the AFC. This is where it gets interesting. My number 1 wild card for the AFC, going to go the Chargers. They've looked solid. Regardless of their weird loss to the Giants, I still think they're the best team other than the Chiefs in the AFC West. Have a good chance of winning it, but I don't think it's going to happen in the end. I think they go 11-5 or something, or 11-6, maybe 12-5 if luck strikes their way. They've got a pretty easy schedule, so if they can honestly, their game against Commanders is probably their hardest one for a while. So if they can make it through that game, I think they can go 8-1 to start the season, honestly. But I still think their end of the season a little bit tougher. They could drop some games, and they lost to the Giants. Who knows what they're capable of? Then for the last 2 seeds, for the number 6 seed, I'm actually going to go with another AFC West team. I'm going to go Denver. I think their defense is good. I think Denver's an underrated team right now. They have potential. They have a great defense. Their offense does need to get some stuff together, but I still think that Courtland Sutton is a pretty underrated receiver. I think he's the best receiver in the AFC West, and this is from someone who stands Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. Courtland Sutton's underrated. He's the best receiver in the West. The running back room isn't great, but they've got an insane offensive line, so anyone can thrive back there. And, Bo Nix is looking pretty solid. I'm not even going to lie. I didn't think he was going to be great when he was drafted, but he's looking solid. So I think Denver gets it done here with their defense. I don't know overall how far they're going to go in the playoffs, but we'll see. Maybe if they do face Jacksonville, they can do pretty decently. And then your number 7 seed, I'm finally going to give them some respect. I think they've done enough to deserve a playoff spot. I'm going to go Indianapolis at the 7th spot. I think they sneak in over Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh is going to go 9-8 again. Definitely going to be the first honorable mention there. But Indianapolis, they've shown enough flash from their offense. Jonathan Taylor looks to be fully back. That's what I got to say about those guys. right now Indianapolis is 7. Again, that very well could change. I think they might even also go 10-7. I think my predicted records for these teams would be something like this. I'll write them down here so y'all don't have to watch me write them down. Let's see here. What the heck? This might be a weirdly unbalanced year because I feel like there could be a lot of teams that have like similar records. So I think these are my record predictions. Buffalo goes 14-3, Kansas City goes 13-4, Jacksonville 10-7, Baltimore 10-7, and then Chargers go 12-5, Denver goes 11-6, and Indianapolis also goes 10-7. Pittsburgh, I think, will go 9-8, just losing the division to Baltimore. And then who else you got in the AFC? Like Browns, Bengals, they don't have a shot. The whole rest of the AFC East doesn't have a shot really. Maybe New England, maybe, but I'm still gonna say no. I'm out on the Raiders. They're not doing great. Houston's tough though because they still got a good defense. It's just gonna be whether that offensive line can let CJ Stroud not get sacked 12 million times. So right now I think your top contenders other than those teams are going to be Pittsburgh, New England, Houston in that order. But I still think both of these teams are going to have like a 7-10 record. So these teams really aren't in. I think these 8, Buffalo, Kansas City, Jacksonville, Baltimore, Chargers, Denver, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, those are your top 8 in the AFC. So there you go. There's playoff predictions, episode 1. I don't know how many times I'm going to do this. Maybe I'll do it again at midseason because right now we're like a fourth of the way through. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this shorter episode of Beyond the Stats. If you did enjoy it, remember to leave a like and subscribe. Helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys next time for the weekly sort of power rankings, predictions, all that. So yeah, see you then. Goodbye.